So we'll just get going. All right. Let me double check everything's going, and then we'll get started.
Yes, sir. I'm hyped, bro.
IG, we rolling.
What's happening, friends?
Going. And cool. Yeah, we're good. We're good to go.
Let's get it.
Fire. Guys, welcome to the Joyage Kingdom.
What's happening?
Me and Cruz are starting pod. We've been trying to do it for a little minute now. And I've been taking a little minute away from streams basically for a few months now because I need to readjust my life, figure out what I wanted to do with Web3 content, with business content, with lifestyle content, with faith content, like whatever I wanted to do. So we figured we'll just start documenting this journey and start this podcast now. And just a little bit about us. Cruz, you want to start? We'll just kind of like talk about who we are super quick, and then we'll talk about the things we're going to talk about, which is 582 million people being scammed by something we're going to talk about today. We're talking about some sales experience things. Alex Hormozy stuff, common questions of the week, trading tips of the week, winners of the week. We've been doing some trading recently, some content stuff, some training news, entertainment stuff, and a whole lot of other things.
Let's get it. Yeah, my name's Cruzzer. I've been an entrepreneur full-time for 8+ years. Literally, let's see. Where do I start, bro? I don't know where to start.
You were 22, so just like we'll do a quick little life run through, and then we'll get started with the actual stuff in the stream. So
every time I'm telling my story, I'm like, yo, bro, I have like this story, that story.
Give the 2-minute elevator pitch version.
Nah, for sure.
Uber version.
Yeah, basically played soccer forever, so that was my entire thing, all the way up until college. Couple of years of college ball, that was what I wanted to do. Started my first business when I was 19. Didn't have a lot of success, found some success, and then now with my current company since 2018. And yeah, we're a financial education platform. So we have education for day trading, investing, social media, travel, all that stuff. And it's been pretty crazy. Went from not knowing anything to going out there and hitting the top 1% income earners within the company, being able to, travel all around the world, teach a lot of people. And it's been a movie for sure. So that's my quick 30-second story.
Cool. And yeah, I'll do mine too. So mine started when I'm 25 right now. Cruz is 28. And I started my journey at 21 years old, I would say. So 2021, I hopped in my car and I was like, how am I going to, bro, I can't even get over how many cameras and screens are going at the same time. And they're all going at a slightly different speeds. So as I move, this camera moves, then this camera, then this one. So yeah, in 2021, I got started with, I guess, photography, and then working with thumbnails, working with angles of stuff, and I got kind of into the art side of it. And then when I hopped in my car, I wanted to travel. I wanted to experience what it would be like to be a travel photographer. So I did that life for like 6 months or so. And then I fell in love with NFTs, crypto, finance at the same kind of time. Got lucky with the Dogecoin bag. And then with that Dogecoin bag, I took that money, lost all of it in the crypto crash. And then with the remaining money I had, I threw 100% of it into NFTs. Literally aside from my gas money, everything else was in NFTs. And then after a few months of losing the rest of my money in NFTs, I was like, yo, I got a couple cameras left and I've got a little bit of life left in me. Let me just start filming some videos with NFTs. And then immediately it just took. Like I just did a review video and I was like, oh wait, no one's making this review style video yet. So I just started rolling with it, pumped out like 150 of those reviews, started interviewing people, got really lucky that Doodles was the first ever interview I got because of the brand they became. I got a ton of credibility from that one podcast. So I would get in like tons of interviewers or interviewees and sort of build the business of the Joyage Kingdom podcast, Joyage Kingdom reviews, the Brutally Honest reviews. That kind of expanded to working with Vertus Media, where I work with those NASDAQ companies, if you follow me on TikTok. So I'm pretty much just founder and content creator. I would throw entrepreneur in there because it's like all encompassing, because everything kind of grows from that. But I'm not like a trader. So like that's kind of why it's going to be fun for me and Cruz to hop in together, because Cruz,
we got a lot of different skills,
yeah,
a lot of different value that we could add to each other and to you guys. So super, super hyped for that.
Yeah. And Cruz makes money a different way than I do. Like our day is run very differently. And so I think that dynamic is cool. Cause like for me, I can't imagine,
but we still be working together too.
Yeah, we do work together like all the time. It's just like it's like such different stuff.
Doing
your
thing. I'm over here doing my thing. Split.
Yeah. Anyways, all right. So first thing we're gonna talk about is some sales tips experience. So we both are pretty solid with sales. This dude like closes for a living. Like he just like he be closing like literally every 5 seconds. I'm like, I look over, he's like, all right, bro, we're gonna get started tomorrow. I'm like, oh, find another guy or another girl. So he's a beast at that. So he's definitely the guy to go to for that. I come in slightly different. Like
no, bro.
I don't know.
You're the greatest salesperson alive, bro.
Bro, thank you.
This guy sell like not even on purpose. Like when you think of sales, like you think of like people who are just, you know, sometimes if you have a negative connotation of sales, people who are just trying to like pitch you things. But this guy just naturally just talks about the things that he's already doing and the things that he loves in a way where it's like, bro, you want to buy something and you're like, yo, like, where's the link, bro? Like,
yeah. So we different styles, but I would agree. We both have like a natural bit of like being able to embellish a little bit and also just, I don't know, speak exactly like kind of what's on our mind and sort of be able to verbalize it in a way that makes sense. So anyways, we're gonna talk about some sales experience stuff. We both kind of got into funnels and got a little bit obsessed with Alex Hormozi. I came in, I feel like a few months before, and then I got what I needed out of that and sort of pulled out. Like I honestly thought that Alex Hormozi would be like the guy I go to for content for the next X amount of years because he kind of felt like a Gary Vee for me. And then he's just so like specifically business. You know, Gary's so like expansive on like a whole different variety of things. And Alex stays in his lane. He's like, yo, we got philosophy and life, but it's business.
I like that it's just so straight to the point. Everything that Alex says, it's like usually 80% of a video is like fluff and then there's 20% value. But he just like every single word is like value, value, value.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, man.
So funnels, giving away free stuff. So you've been doing some stuff. So with just for some laying out the foundation. So Cruz works with Life by Design with IM Academy. It's a trading educational platform. And so we've basically been trying to figure out like how do we make the package deal, the entire experience when you get onboarded and pretty much doing anything new with joining any kind of community or any kind of company. How do you like make that as fire as possible from like the first week? And like from reading books like .com Secrets and watching Alex Hormozi, we learn a variety of different things, but the answers are still kind of the same. It's basically like give them a bunch of stuff, give them a bunch of resources, and then like connect with them and build that relationship. So it's very simple, but there are certain things that work. And so you've been working on like an ebook. So if you want to talk about that, kind of the why behind that.
For sure. Yeah. So I went through Alex Hormozi's new book, $100 million leads. I actually didn't go through the book. I went through his course. He has a video series, which is probably even better than the book because he has like visuals and all that. And one thing he talked about, which I've been doing, giving away free value, but I didn't realize that there was a word for it. And he calls it a lead magnet. And a lead magnet is just something that you give away for free in your industry. Let's say for day trading, I give away a free Forex ebook as an example. And so, yeah, basically it's something that you give away for free that gives them so much value that typically they would have paid, you know, hundreds of dollars, $1,000 for, or whatever the case may be, that they're like, hey, I want to see what your, you know, paid offers are. And so, yeah, that's what I'm working on. I'm working on this ebook and it's pretty much done. I just got to just post it, man.
Yeah. No, I feel like you took a very professional approach. Mine was slightly less. That's like probably the one thing my boss, when I was an orientation leader, I forget which job it was, but every time I worked at a job, my weakest link was professionalism and like just some version of that answer. And I was always like, man, I just like can't do it, bro. Like I don't know what it is. It's just like the professional side. Like I understand it. And I know there's a time and a place for it. But there's just like a style that I've always rolled with that has always worked. And for me, I always question that because I'm like, okay, like is it working? Therefore it's good, or is it working? And I still need to pay attention to it and figure out if it's still good. So I'm always paying attention to it. However, you made the ebook. I feel like my version was like just make a bunch of videos and content, which you also do. I just haven't like done the ebook part, which I think I probably will do some version of a free condensed place where all your stuff is. Like right now, all I have is playlists on YouTube, playlists on TikTok. And then if you just happen to find me and I get into your algorithm, I'm about to infect your algorithm because like anyone who finds me, I always know that they found me because I'll go to my TikTok notifications and it's like one account likes like 37 videos in a row. I'm like, okay, I'm in their For You page. Like I know I'm in their head a little bit. So that's always how I've done it. And then all my organic inbound requests for business opportunities come because I have just like a archive of like thousands of videos at this point across all different platforms. And it's crazy because like I probably get like 40% of my business opportunity network connections from Twitter, but then like the rest of them is like 20%, 20%, 20%, 20%, and they're all from different platforms. And I'm very happy that I have the different ones because right now, fam, if I was on just Twitter alone, I would be depressed because of like all the stuff that's on there. And I've had a few people message me, they're like, yo, like, when are you gonna start making Web3 content? And I'm like, I am coming back and I do want to, but every time I go on the timeline, especially when they're like, why aren't you covering the news? I'm like, bro, what do you want me to talk about? Do you want me to talk about the fact that people are just literally scamming their audience because they want to boost their numbers on their friend tech asset thing that doesn't even make sense and is for sure going to be dead in 2 weeks? Or do you want me to talk about Sam Bankman-Fried going into court and that doesn't affect anybody's life because he's still in prison and it doesn't affect 99% of people's lives and it's just not for your life? Or do you want me to talk about the fact that Luka Nets is being canceled right now for a bunch of alleged things that have maybe happened kind of 12 years ago? I'm like, I just don't know like what to talk about there. So I've taken a step back. I've been learning some tips, spending a lot of time sort of focusing on like what can I contribute to Life by Design, even because every company I work with, if I'm going to be working with them long term, I try and figure out if there's a way to like tie together and see if there's anything I can do content wise that can help. And then we'll just kind of see where that goes, because that's always how they've kind of gone. So for me, that's kind of what I want to hit on for a sales experience, funnels and stuff. But
yeah, I think that one thing when it comes to the lead magnet that we were talking about earlier is that people don't know you. They don't trust you. There's a bunch of stuff online. You never know what's real and what's not. And Alex made a great point. He said something along the lines of people are making a purchase decision based off of the value that they think that they're going to get for the future. So if they're spending $100 with you, they think that their $100 is, they're going to get more than $100 in value based off of that purchase decision in the future. Well, how do you get them to believe that they're going to get that value in the future? You give them value now in the present. And that's what the lead magnet is giving them some type of value now that's worth a ton, to the point where like, wow, I've gotten so much value. I trust this guy. He's legit. Let me actually see what he's doing on, you know, some of his paid stuff. So that's the idea behind that.
That's a great, that kind of transition sweet into the $100 million leads synopsis kind of, which is what you've been kind of obsessed with the last few weeks. But there's different angles of that. There's like 4. So if you want to hit on them, we kind of already hit on the free content part of it. And I guess that goes into warm/cold outreach too. There's another segment of that I haven't really delved too much into that I think either you have already or you're about to. And then we'll hit on what the 582 million person scam is that is going to kind of dictate the rest of this podcast.
For sure. So let's talk about leads really quick.
Yeah.
I think that if you're a business owner, I talk to business owners every day, and the number one issue that I see them having is they don't know how to generate leads. And that's the entire premise of the book. And I have never seen someone break it down as good as he does in the book. And he said that there's only 4 ways to go out there and generate leads. So number 1 is warm outreach. Number 2 is cold outreach. Number 3 is free content. And number 4 is paid ads. Now, it's not like one is necessarily better than the other. You can master one and go out there and crush it. But for me, I'm like, if there's 4 ways, I'm like a overachiever. I'm like, yo, I need to be doing all 4. And so, yeah, warm outreach. If you're just starting a business, it's very, very easy to, you know, if I'm opening up a restaurant, you know, I would expect the people that are closest to me to come to my grand opening, right? And so just warm outreach, talking to close friends, close family about your product, your service. Cold outreach is you reaching out to people individually, one-on-one. And there's a specific thing to say. There's things to say, things to not say. There's a certain amount of people to reach out to. There's a formula for each one of these things. And then there's free content, which I can't tell you how many hundreds and hundreds of sales I've done personally just from me posting for free on Instagram or whatever. And then people are, you know, reaching out to you rather than you reaching out to them. And then last but not least is paid ads. Now, I've personally mastered warm market, warm outreach, cold outreach, free content. The last thing I haven't done personally is really running ads. And that's what we're really focused on now, because every time I mastered one thing, I went to another level. I don't know if I've told you this, but like at first I mastered warm outreach, and that helped me go from like 0 to a full time. And then from, you know, there I mastered cold outreach and free content, and that helped me go from full time to the next level. And now it's like, okay, I need to take it to a whole nother level. And I feel like mastering this skill will take me take us there. So.
Wait. So with cold outreach is the one I can't wrap my head around, dude. My whole business has been built off inbound requests. So I don't even do warm outreach really, which I think is probably did hold me back. It's probably too late at this point, especially for Web3 companies. I don't even know if I would feel comfortable doing anymore. And that's why I've kind of the YouTube videos have sort of stopped. But like cold outreach, bro. Should people be using a VA for that? Like, is it worth the time spent versus the $3 to $10 you're going to spend per hour for having a VA do it for a couple hours a day? Or like, what do you think for cold outreach is the best method?
For people that a lot of people just don't have money, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like if you have money, you could run ads and you could do all these different things. But I would say that I'm kind of 50-50. I think that if you don't have any money and you're just like, yo, like it's probably the easiest thing that you could do with no money, very little time. You could reach out to, 5, 10, 20, 50, 100 people a day. I was on a call with someone the other day and they're like, yo, I have to reach out to 300 people a day for my insurance business or whatever. So whether you want to do it manually or you can get a VA for super, super cheap. That's something that I've done to help me with just, talking to people as well. You can do it for pretty cheap. It's definitely worth it if you have the extra money to spend, for sure.
Sure.
I will say this. There was a long time where I would not reach out to anybody either. Because I was like, yo, like, if they're interested, they'll hit me up.
Yeah.
But I've made so many connections that I never would have gotten had I not reached out first, that like, I'm like, yo, like, I think I need to do both. I need to create all this content and have people reach out to me. But I need to reach out to people because I never would have been able to connect with some of these like super, super high level people had I not been the one to hit them up first. So I think both. People are like, yo, should I do this? Should I do that? That's why I told you I should do all 4.
Yeah.
Or we should do
that's
all
a good
4,
point. I guess in my head, I've sort of closed that angle off because I was like, I've never had someone reach out cold DM and like me actually want any of their stuff. Because 90% of it is just not necessary. They're like, yo, I can help you do this. And I was like, yeah, but that doesn't help anyone except you. But then I just remembered Legionnaire came from email cold outreach. He was just like, yo, here's 5 thumbnails I've done. Do you want one? And I was like, oh, wow. And then
see, it's the way that they reach out to you.
Yeah, it's
if you reach out to them in the correct way, for example, Legionnaire gave you just free value and it was actually like good stuff, then you were like, bro, you put them on right away. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, for sure.
It's just like most people do it wrong. Most people just spam you. They'll hit you up, not caring about anything that you're doing and only trying to benefit them. And that's the 99% of people that are just doing it wrong.
Yeah.
But if you do it correctly and you reach out to them genuinely and you do it in a way where it's going to benefit you and them, it just makes sense. So
yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, paid outreach or paid ads for me, I haven't done too much of it. I've done a little bit on TikTok and it worked, but mainly I guess with a lot of my stuff, because everything is so content heavy, I look more at relationships and connections as my top thing, and then opportunities and money below it, because I know that they come from those connections and relationships. So whenever I do like a paid ad, if it doesn't generate me 3 sales on something I'm selling, then like I'm okay with that. If 32 people found me that didn't find me before, just because I'm like, I feel like that will matter more than getting 3 gigs kind of thing. So it's always how I've thought about paid ads. The thing is with most companies, when if you're going to be like working with them with marketing, like the only things they're looking at are the numbers and the stats. Are they going up? And subscribers. And like, honestly, the last like few months, I've had meetings, I've been in consulting calls, I've been in interviews even, where I'm trying to sort of change the conversation, because they're like, oh, like, how did you grow this account from here to here? And I'm like, well, part of it's because I just did a bunch of quantity and reviews that people wanted, a bunch of podcasts people wanted, but also I just didn't look at the numbers because I was getting all the opportunities everyone else is getting without the number part. And like I wasn't pulling in 300,000 views, but I was getting bigger opportunities than these other people who were, because my target audience was people who were a little bit higher caliber. And so I was like, the way I was explaining, I was like, what if one video I make for you gets seen by Elon, and then now you have Tesla as a client? I'm like, then my one view to Elon matters more than the million that you could have gotten before. So I'm trying to like change that conversation, because I think it can aid content creators, because I don't think it's just about the numbers, because I know so many content creators with more followers than me that have not made a literal single dollar from their content. And it's just because there's a kind of formula that works. Like, that's why I'm doing so many reviews, even though I'm not making any money from the coffee reviews, my energy drink reviews. That brand that it builds and the identity around, like, oh, that's Cade who like reviews stuff. That bleeds into something where someone goes, yo, I have a course, or I have a product or a service or this or that or the other. We want to send it to you for free for review, or we want to pay you for review. That kind of thing only happens after you made like 150 of those reviews. So that's sort of how I've always thought about getting leads if you're going to be like a strictly content creator.
Bro, those videos that you've been posting recently, I know you've been telling me that they've been blowing up. Tell them what you told me about the whole TikTok Shop stuff, because that was pretty cool.
Bro, honestly, that should have been a huge topic on here. I kind of forgot about. So that actually that kind of leads straight into the 582 million person scam that we're talking about. We're gonna hit on right now. So that's why you clicked on this video. The scam, and this is not clickbait. The scam is entrepreneurship. There's 582 million entrepreneurs in the entire world. I think there was 80 something million in the United States, right? The reason I called it a scam is that out of the 582 million, I'm very confident that probably like 500 million of them have a wrong idea of what it is. And because of that, they're going to crash and fall. And it's not really their fault. It's just like and that's why I kind of brought up a second ago, like the conversation around it has to change. And that started from Gary Vee. When I first got into the world of entrepreneurship, I was like, yo, this guy's saying things differently and it's making so much sense. And so many people are resonating with it that I feel like we're going to get a wave of content creators, entrepreneurs who like actually get it. And I've seen in the last couple of years, a lot more people who actually get it, and the conversation is starting to change around it, almost to the point where like everyone's saying it now. So it's almost common knowledge. But the thing is, like, it's not, because I'll talk to people who are professionals in the field, have accomplished way more than me, and I'll have like a little call with them, and like their minds are blown from the things that I'm saying that are just, it feels like common knowledge, especially in Web3. Yeah, like very basic stuff. I'm like, yo, everyone, like so many people are just being scammed because they have this idea of what entrepreneurship might be and could be. And when it doesn't meet that expectation, they either give up. And I can't even tell you how many content creators, especially on TikTok, when I was so excited to get started in 2021, that literally they were like, yo, we're going to be here in 3 years. And I was like, bet. So we became friends. I was like, yo, it's going to be sick. Like when we get to the top, we'll get there together. And let me tell you, 9 out of 10 of them are gone, have not posted in 2 years. And I'm like, everyone I know now, for the most part, 9 out of 10 of those people are brand new in the last 6 months. And I was like, it kind of made me sad, because I was like, wow, they started with so much like fire, just like I did, but I feel like it just came from like the wrong fire. And now they're just burnt out and they just give up.
Bro.
I'm like, bro.
Yeah. I remember reading a statistic, and it said something along the lines of, in the affiliate marketing industry, it said something, even if it's true or not, I know it's like relatively true. It may not be the exact number, but it was something along the lines of 90% of people that stick with the same company in that industry within 10 years, within a decade, hit 7 figures. And I don't know exactly how true that is, but I know for a fact that it's true, because every time I see someone stick with it for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, they're always, you know, at the top of the industry. And it's just crazy. People drastically underestimate the amount of time it's going to take, the amount of work ethic, the amount of money, energy, all these things that they have to invest in order to get from where they are to wherever it is that they want to go. And I think that that's one of the biggest misconceptions, because people are posting their highlights on Instagram. You know, people are, you know, talking about get rich quick this, you know, get rich quick that. Yeah. And it creates this microwave mentality. I don't know what else to call it, where people want to get results quick. And if they don't, then they're just going to quit. And it doesn't matter if we're talking about business, the gym, like anything that's worthwhile is going to take a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of energy. I was actually typing up a reel before we started this podcast, and my reel was titled, I'm going to just give it to you guys, either way it's hard. That's going to be the reel. It's like, entrepreneurship is going to be super, super hard. Working a job that you hate for the rest of your life, 8 hours a day, where you don't have any type of control, is just as hard, right? Whether it's being in great shape is hard, being out of shape is hard. Whether it's being in a relationship is hard, being single in certain ways is hard. And when you understand that either way it's going to be hard, then you can actually choose the hard that you want. And yeah, that's like number one.
No, that's a good point. There was a Gary Vee video where he was like, for young people, he was like, y'all need to like just take a breath, because this job that you're stressing about that you haven't gotten yet, when you get it, you're gonna be stressed at that job. And then you're gonna be stressed you're not making enough money at that job. And then you're gonna quit that job and you're still gonna be stressed. He's like, you're gonna be stressed every step of the way. So just be fine with that, you know, accept that fact. And it gets a lot easier. That's kind of like partially what like brought me into the faith a little bit. I was like, yo, so you're telling me that like life's gonna stink and a lot of bad things are gonna happen with God or without God, so I can just choose to be with God and have him with me, versus just I'm gonna also be in this entire journey alone, which I've been alone for the last 25 years. And I was like, Yo, that has been actually the loneliest, awfulest, worst time ever. And then like I just get this, it's like a totally different mindset entirely, but it's kind of like that same concept, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that it's just the expectation. Like the expectations, like whether it's like you think it's a get rich quick, whether you think that's going to be fast, it's going to be easy, it's going to be this, it's going to be that. Like if you have the wrong types of expectations coming into entrepreneurship, then you're setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah.
And you're not going to last. And you're going to, you know, be super, super hyped for 30 days, 90 days, 6 months, for a year. But can you be hyped and excited for 3 years, 5 years, for a decade? Because if not, then like, what are you doing? If you're joining something and you don't see yourself, you know, if you're starting a business and you don't see yourself in that business 5 years from now, 10 years from now, in my opinion, what's the point? Unless you're just trying to make a little bit of money here really quick, right? But I see a lot of people jump from thing to thing to thing, shiny object syndrome, always thinking the next thing's going to be the best thing. And it's like, bro, sometimes you just got to just grind it out, man. Like figure out what you really want, figure out what you're passionate about, and just stick with it for a long period of time. Just grind it out.
Yeah. And I think at the very beginning of my journey, I identified like very early, I was like, I like video, but specifically podcasts, because I like consuming podcasts. I like watching people make podcasts. I like supporting people's podcasts. Like I love everything about podcasts, so long form content in general, where there's not this focus on quick little like, you know, hooks and attention and, you know, fast edits and stuff. I was like, I don't really consume that content as like a top first priority choice. And I was like, so that needs to be like a North Star for me. No matter where I go in this game, I love video and I love content. No matter what I do, documenting that in a video format always follows me. So like, if that's true, then I don't need to worry about burning out, because even if I do go through a period of not making as much content, it's still my hobby. And if it's actually my hobby, then it will come back to me. But if it's not your hobby and you're forcing it, it just won't work, because you're going to go up against me. And I am in love with content. So like, I'm going to beat you over a 50-year span because I do love it and you don't, or you're doing it for the money. I'm like, bro, I've made content for years without making money. So like, I know what that's like, and I still make content. So
bro, you ever seen that? What is that quote, bro? It's like something like, the person who loves walking something. You know what I'm talking about or no? I think it's so good. No, bro, it's so good. I want to like look it up. It's like,
look it up. All right. While we were complaining about life for a second here, the reason we complained and we kind of let that go on is because of the thing we brought up right before, which is the TikTok shop, which is probably the biggest thing right now. Did you find that quote?
The man who loves walking will walk further than the man who loves the destination.
Bro, that hits. It's a mic drop right there.
I don't even know if that was relevant to what I thought it was relevant to what she said.
It was until I said TikTok shop. So
all good.
We'll rewind. So now we'll go to move to TikTok shop. So the reason I brought TikTok, or the reason he brought TikTok shop, is it's the thing right now, and it's still the thing. You're not late. So when YouTube Shorts popped off, not to my own horn, but I called it 3 full months before Gary Vee, and I said, in quotes, I was like, the title matters, period. That's the only 2 things you need to care about for YouTube Shorts. It's the title, period. Nothing else matters. The content can be total booty, and you can still have a viral video. I promise you. And so for months on Twitter, if you're following me on Twitter mainly is where I put it, and the Twitter @ is. Bro, I just realized, are you in the stream?
No, I'm not. But I realized that really early
I didn't even realize. Okay, anyways.
So really early on, I realized that, and I was like, it's fine.
So with YouTube Shorts, I just knew that was going to happen. So on Twitter, I was documenting the process. So a lot of you guys follow me there. Cade Bergman. I think it's the thing you see on the screen. On Twitter, I was documenting. I was posting screenshots. You remember, because I was getting so many videos that were crushing it. And then 3 months later, Gary Vee says, yo, YouTube Shorts is the next thing. All you gotta do is title it the right way. And I was like, okay, I called it. Sick. So I'm onto something, and at least I can trust that I do have a finger on the pulse. So now I'm telling you again, TikTok shop I found probably 2 weeks ago. If you follow me on TikTok, which is I think the same you see me explore on TikTok shop content. And the reason it's important is because you can make commissions. So like if you pick a product that you earn $2 for every one you sell for $6 and you make $2 each time, that's great. The thing is TikTok will push the video just because you link the TikTok shop to it. So what I started doing is, after I started messing around with a lot of those videos that were more salesy, definitely more like promoting of products that I thought were cool, I was like, okay, how can I make this not like a promoting channel? That's obviously not what I want to do with my channel. So like, what can I do? So yesterday I posted a video. It didn't blow up or anything, but it was a video with a TikTok shop link to it. It was the bottle that I've been drinking out of a long time, or for the past like week, that I love. But the video was a coffee shop review. The cup was just in there somewhere in the video, right? And so that wasn't like the main focus of it. But because of that, it does get a little bit of extra push with it. And who knows, like it could go viral. So like maybe I post a review video on NFTs or something like that, and I just link a TikTok shop and it gets 300,000 views. Like those are things that are possible. Like I posted a video on Instagram that got 140,000 views, and it had to do with making fun of NFTs, unfortunately. But like it blew up, and I was like, oh wow, this is possible. And so TikTok Shop is a huge opportunity, and that's only there. And I only found it because I'm just paying attention and I'm looking for those things. And you have to be doing that. If
weren't
you're
you saying it like? I don't know if you said this already, but weren't you saying that it wasn't like the greatest way to actually make money, but it was just like a great way to like just like build your actual like brand and like grow your following and all that?
Yeah, it's good for all those things, but you're right. Yeah, so I don't make a ton of money off them. Like I've made probably like $100 off the commissions, but like the views I've gotten and the followers I've gotten is definitely worth it for me. And plus, like I can qualify spending 3 hours making videos on it, because it's fine, and like I like doing it, and it's not really a big deal to me. Some people genuinely just hate the whole process of it, and for that person, I say go find something else on blogs. If you like text, go find something on Twitter, LinkedIn, Threads. There's other ways, and there's other versions of TikTok Shop on all those platforms. You just have to find it. You know what I'm saying? Like I consume a lot of content on TikTok with the intent to find something I can use for my brand, and so you can do the exact same thing for every other thing. Like in the same way that you're looking for things in places that I don't think to look for, in avenues that I don't think to look for it as well. And so you're able to find things. Like you were like, yo, the ebook. And I was like, really? And you're like, yes, because this. And I was like, that's a good point. But it just wouldn't have come across in my head because I wasn't looking for that. So it's like for everyone's a different path, but it's still the same stuff to get it. But TikTok Shop is blowing up if you're a video creator.
Facts. I think a couple things. One is, did you say 300,000 views?
For what?
You said you got 300,000 views on TikTok.
No. I said I would like to get 300,000 views.
I was
on
going to say,
video.
bro.
I got 140K on an NFT video, though. So I'm
that's
down for that.
crazy. Like, I think when I think of views, I like picture like people like in a room, and I'm like, 50 views. Like, that's like 50 people in a room.
Yeah. That's a lot of people.
100 people. That's 100. Like, when you think of 100 views, it's like, to me, it's like not a lot. But like, when you think of like 100 people in a room, so when you think of 150,000 people, that's like a stadium, bro.
Dude, it's a huge amount. I mean, right now, there's probably like two to four on per platform. So there's like 20-something people live, and then there will be X amount of people after. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, bro, if we just like had a real meeting and like
that's a ton of people, bro.
We're like, yo,
that's packed,
lit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's just like kind of priorities. And if you care about the thing you're doing and you actually care, like we had a conversation a few months ago where I was like, bro, I don't know how you're doing what you're doing because like I can't imagine doing this. And you're like, yeah, but like you're thinking about it like this, and I think about it like helping people build their own thing and like do all these things. And I was like, oh. That's why you can qualify spending hours and hours on the phone, and I can't because I just wasn't thinking about it like that. And I think that's very, very like reminiscent of people who are trying to make content. They're like, I'm doing all these things. I'm like, yeah, but it's probably because like you don't actually do it from the good place, you know?
Just doing it from the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
I feel that.
All right, let's see what else we got here. So we got some rapid fire Q&A. If you guys have any rapid fire Q&A style questions, drop in the chat. Otherwise, there's definitely some questions I want to poke through here. Like there's some concepts here that I think are very interesting that I've hit on, but mainly with always like a Web3 hat on, I guess. And one of those is like the CBDCs. Do you know anything about that? So there's the universal base income, which is everyone gets a certain paycheck per month, and it's going to be probably in the form of a US government crypto coin, which is kind of that's why I have these together. And it's something I've talked about a lot on my show with Web3 specific people. That's why I want to bring it up in this show, because he's not Web3 native.
Tell me about it, and then I'll give you my opinion on it.
Universal basic income is something I first heard about from Andrew Wang, or maybe it's Andrew Yang. Andrew Yang, I think, when he ran for presidency in 2020. No, it was 2020, I think. And I wanted to vote for him, but unfortunately he didn't go through. And then it was up to Sleepy Joe and Mr. Donald Trump. However, I was supporting Andrew Yang as a fellow Asian. This is an Asian house right now. So I was like, yo, go Asia, let's go. I knew he wasn't going to win, but I still bought his hats and stuff. But he was big on the universal basic income. And I think at the time, that was before crypto was like really that far into everyone's head. And so we were like, bro, yeah, $2,000 a month so that we can, go live our life and make art and stuff like that. Like, it's a great idea. And then humans happened as they do. And we were like, yo, control. And so government was like, let's ban every crypto, but make our own crypto, and then give it to everyone with the concept that you can't now go and buy gas for your car because you did XYZ, which breaks some of our rules. So now your funds are frozen, which they can do right now. But with the CBDC that they have full control over and control your income, dude, imagine if you get used to a life because you're spending this. Maybe you even took out leverage against it, thinking you're going to get $3,000 a month every month, but then they freeze your account and they say, hey, unless you stop doing this thing, we're not giving you your money. And because we started doing this 3 months ago, you actually closed this business. So that's your only stream of income. And the reason that bothers me is because there's so many people who like are not coming from at all a place of what's the word, like prosperity at all. Like I'd say like most people on earth are like struggling in some way, shape or form, most of them with money. So it's like, that's going to be a really, really bad place to be in.
I heard Jordan Peterson talk about narcissistic compassion. And it's like people that, you know, they look like they're trying to help you, but in all reality, they're just trying to control you. And it's like, that's like an individual person, but like on a whole nother level, like that's like what certain organizations do. They're like, hey, I care about you. I'm going to give you $3,000 a month. But like, all you got to do is this, this, and this. And it looks like they're trying to help you, but in all reality, they're just trying to control you.
Or make a buck off you.
Or that, either way. And that sounds like, I mean, like I said, I don't know too much about it, but in general, of course, send me money for free. It sounds nice up front, but when you like read the fine print, it sounds like a terrible idea.
But it almost bothers me how much that statement's true. Like it sounds too good to be true. Like the deeper I get into life and especially business, when I get pitched something,
you know what sucks though? When you actually get a good idea,
bro.
You're right. You are really right. Like too good to be true is like 100% like, bro, that can't be real. But every once in a while, you're like, yo, like that's a perfect idea, and then you'll just overlook it because like you've just been like screwed over so many times, bro.
Bro, are you calling me out right now?
No, bro, no. I'm calling you guys out. Myself.
Yeah, we were talking about Web3 and like there's like all these ideas that we were talking about, and I was like, bro, I think I'm just like so traumatized from how many grifters
That's what I've been
grifted
traumatized.
By. Not just grifted, but like just like, yo, I believe in this person, so I'm gonna give them either attention, engagement, whatever it is to support them, and they turn out to be just total scammers or total grifters. I'm like, bro, are you kidding me? Like, it's like it bothers me because I look at content and entrepreneurship as a craft, as a hobby, as like a passionate thing. So when people are, and like I understand it's also a business and to make money, but it's like those like come together, and there are a lot of people who separate the two and burn these and just do the money part, which is also its own thing. But when you do that at the expense of people that like believe in you because they're humans and they have like passion and compassion for you, and then you just like take that and just like, oh, dude, it just bothers me so much. And the amount of offers I get in my inbox that are basically that, and like, yo, we're gonna do all these things. I'm like, well, the only person winning in this situation is gonna be you, and you know it. And you're just scamming a bunch of people who are unaware, and it bothers me so much. I've just been on both sides of it. I've been on teams that, you know, have certain offers where I'm like, that's kind of, I mean, I guess you can offer that, but like that's definitely only helping you guys. Like they're the only, like the customer is the one losing in this situation, and that bothers me that you're okay with that, you know?
Yeah.
But
there's two types of people for me that make a lot of money. There's win-lose people and win-win people. And like win-lose, like these are manipulators, these are scammers, these are people that they'll do whatever to make money. They don't care about what happens to the other person at all. And they could still, the trick is they could be making 6 figures, 7 figures, whatever, and you could look up to these people because they're crushing it financially. But at the end of the day, like they're just terrible people, and they're just making money off other people, and they don't actually care about those people at all. And then there's win-win people where, for me, like every time I'm not even just in a business, like offering a business idea to somebody, but even a relationship or like everything I do, I try to think in terms of win-win. How could I benefit other people, and how could I benefit myself? Because you don't want to screw over other people, but at the same time, you don't want to also get taken advantage of either. And when you're, you know, treating your business offers in a way where it's like, okay, cool, this is going to help me, but just as much it's also going to help other people, like that's the right formula. That's the right framework of thinking.
True. No, that's a great point right there. That's a great point. This is a question I wanted to like touch on a little bit. Day in the life. What are you actually doing? This is a question we want to be at. So we're going to be interviewing people. So by the way, this is every Saturday, 11 a.m. PST, this show live. And so at least that's for now, it's like the idea. And hopefully each show will get better. We'll add things in. Who knows if we'll be in this setup next week? I have no idea. But as far as day in the life, this is a question we want to ask because when we interview people, I think we're going to be pretty picky with who we interview because there will be a time for a podcast maybe where it's a little bit more casual. But with interviews specifically, we don't want to bother wasting anybody's time, including you guys watching, but especially the person we bring in is because a lot of times especially for the people that you know, they like don't have an hour. So if they're giving us an hour, that's like a lot of money they're losing by not, doing their business or whatever. So like we don't want to ask fluff questions, but one of the questions that feels like a fluff, but it isn't, if the person being interviewed answers it truthfully, is like, what does your actual day in life look like? And I've asked this question, as you guys know, to over 100 NFT project founders, and I get the same type of answer every time. It's, man, like, bro, calls, meetings, and I'm like, with who? And they're like, bro, like the developer. And I'm like, yeah, but that's like a 2-minute conversation. Like, what are you talking about? Like that doesn't even make sense. And like, they never had an actual answer, and they never actually did anything. And we see that that's actually true because there's like 4 projects right now that are worth anything. So, and you actually are on the phone, but it's a slightly different thing. Like they were literally saying that they're on the phone with Des for 2 hours, but it's because they were just talking about nothing the entire time. There was no goal of the conversation. There was no reason to have the conversation. It was just to fill 2 hours of time. And I'm like, okay, so you got $2 million and that's what you did with it. So we want to ask people who are actually making money, actually contributing something for real. That's like kind of the main qualifications right there, and have something to offer. So day in the life, it's a Cruz.
Bro, that's a great question. I don't know. Let me see what I did yesterday. Google
Where are you going?
Calendar.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to see what I did yesterday, and I'll literally
too.
tell you what I did yesterday. What day is today? Saturday the 7th?
Saturday. I have my Friday one too.
Okay. So I don't have everything on here, but yesterday I woke up at 4, believe it or not, because I hopped on Evan's Go Live, his live trading session. And I hopped on that for now. I don't usually wake up at 4. Like, I'm not just saying, oh yeah, I woke up at 4. Like, I usually wake up at like
4 a.m.
No,
Are you kidding me?
I do not do that. But yeah, yesterday I did actually wake up at 4 to see what was going on with gold, because yesterday was NFP. It's like the biggest news of the month.
NFT.
NFT. Being serious for a second. But yeah, and so I did that. And then once I was awake, I was about to take a nap. I like taking naps. That's the secret, bro. That's the secret to success.
Is this the nap you're talking about when you're on the ground yesterday?
But bro, I didn't sleep. I almost took a nap.
Yeah.
But I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna just stay up so I can like get my sleep schedule. So for a couple hours, what did I do? I was probably just on my computer. At 6 a.m. we had the live trading session.
Yeah.
Where we all hopped on together, and we just traded as a group. And then did we meet up yesterday?
We did briefly for like a couple hours because we had to make sure we were good here.
What did I do?
That was in the afternoon though. That was like evening.
I'm not sure what I did. I don't remember what I did from 7. I think, I edited a bunch of content. That's what I was probably doing because I posted early in the morning as well. And then I think I ran, at 10 a.m. I had a call. 11 a.m. I had a haircut. 12 p.m. I had a call that actually got canceled. So I probably just, I don't know what the hell I did at that time. 1 o'clock, I had a call with my friend from New Zealand. 1:45, I had a call with this girl. And what do we do? Are
most of these calls to close clients, or most calls to like
they're
strategy?
Different, man. They're different. One of these was to, I would say half of them are like for new people that are getting people started, and the other half is like strategy type game plan, like, hey, let's do this kind of calls. And that's pretty much what I did for most of the day. And then you came over at 3 for a little bit. Is that when you printed stuff? Is that yesterday?
No, that was a different day. I just came over. We just had to make sure that the podcast was good to go. I dropped off the camera stuff, and then I think I did a little bit of work right there.
Yeah.
But I was only here for a little bit because I went back.
Cool.
So what did you do after I left?
After you left, I had
I know Leanne went to the gym or something. So you were like,
I had a call at 4, which also got canceled.
Bro,
I got a call at 4:30, which also got canceled.
Bro, nobody wants to talk to you.
No. I don't know. It wasn't a normal day.
Nobody wants to talk to him.
And then I just
that's hilarious.
Had a couple meetings after that, really. And then other than that, what did I do?
You waste time ever?
Of course.
Just, like sit around.
Of course, bro.
What do you do when you waste your time though?
Beat you in FIFA.
Oh my. Bro, literally the last 2 games.
That's my highlight of the day.
Losing?
My highlight
lost the last 2 games.
My highlight of the day. Get some work done, and then afterwards is playing this man in FIFA. And he could tell you whatever he wants to tell you, but the truth is, he's never beat me before.
Bro, you literally lost the last 2 games. The last 2 games you lost. I walked out on a W.
Bro, before this podcast, we made rules. And rule number 1 was no capping, bro. No capping on the podcast.
All right. All right. So yesterday,
on a serious note, I like to plan 80% of my day and leave like 20% of my day to do whatever. I think that a lot of people hate their schedule because they plan like every 5 minutes and then it's not realistic and then they don't do it and then they feel bad and they feel bad about feeling bad and they just throw away the schedule, and then they start again next week.
What do you think is going to change when your leg gets better? Because right now you're like slightly.
What's going to change when my leg gets better?
Gym?
Definitely going to the gym a lot more. I would say not a ton, other than like just leaving the house, bro. Leaving the house and just doing more stuff in general. Like I just can't leave. So, but I like to just do probably a lot of this stuff in other places because I get bored. I get super bored like in the same spot. So I like to go to other cool spots, and then just other stuff. Whether it's like I don't even want to go on a date with Leanne because I don't want to leave the house, kind of stuff. So just not business stuff, leaving the house, but just leaving the house in general.
Yeah.
So yeah.
True. All right. Well, on the topic of no cap, I'll go through mine. So yesterday, woke up around 6. So I don't know if you guys know, but I just moved the other day. So I moved out of the city. I was just ready to go out. There's a whole bunch of reasons that I'm probably not ever going to speak about publicly. I'm not sure if I'm ever going to do like a stream and talk about what happened that literally brought me to Jesus, like that level of life-changing, terrifying life. If you ever seen the movie Get Out, that horror movie, I lived that life for like 4 or 5 weeks, and it was awful. So that happened, and then that was a lot of that took place in this prison apartment that I was in, and it was just not a good place to be. So I couldn't even wake up. Like I was like, bro, I can't wake up. I can't get anything done. I'm so tired. This place feels like it's bringing me down. Anyways, I got out of there. I'm living in like amongst trees and nature again. So like, I'm very happy. I'm in a beautiful house now. And I'm paying less than I was in the city. Like it's ridiculous. So I'm very happy. So been able to wake up in the morning. So we're doing 6 a.m. trading sessions. We're actually going to talk about that a little bit. Is Cruz is currently working with, is using a prop firm and doing a funded account for 100K. So he's currently on like the trial run for that to like qualify for it. I'm currently doing the same thing, but for a 10K account because I'm definitely not qualified to just run 100K account. It's ridiculous. I've never even done that before. So I'm going to do a 10K account, doing the trial for that. So I'm waking up at 6 a.m. mainly to see if I can do it and if I care to do it. And I've sort of just accepted that there are certain things I don't have to love that I can still do. And if I already want to be up in the morning, then I might as well do it. So we'll see what happens with that. But I'm going to be waking up at 6 a.m. doing those sessions Monday through Friday. So we did that yesterday. Posted some TikToks. So I typically have anywhere from 5 to infinity amount of TikToks in my drafts. And so whatever I've got planned for that week, I try and get, if I feel like filming one day and I really feel like filming, I'll film and I'll get a bunch of things done. If I have some ideas, I'll get them all done because I know there's days where I don't feel like filming. And on those days, I need to still have content there. Otherwise, I just miss an opportunity to post something. So I post TikToks right after that. Then I had an audio interview with a company for a content creator position, actually. So I did that. That was like the 4th or 5th round, I think, of interviews with them. I think it'd be cool to work with them. If not, I also think it's a cool experience to run through that. And so did that. Then I went and grocery shopping, which took forever. And I had to, oh my God, bro, I had to return that USPS package or UPS package. It was an Amazon return. And in the city, it's so easy. You just go to Whole Foods, drop it in this to-go box thing, and you're done. At UPS, I guess the way they do it, either this specific item or not, I don't know what it was, but I had to like buy a specific box, bro. I was so butthurt that I had to spend, I think, $8 on a box that I already had. I just didn't bring with me because I was like, I don't need this. They never required me to have a box, so I had to pay $8, return the UPS thing. Then I went into for the grocery shopping. I went to the dollar store and I bought a $1 ice cream, like a tub of ice cream, $1. I bought 2 of them for the reviews, and then I bought 2 energy drinks for reviews. So I'm going to be reviewing 4 products that are $1 each. I'm actually kind of excited for that. I actually filmed a little bit in Dollar Tree, and then I bought some pretzels.
How much was it actually?
It was $1.25 each. The Dollar Tree is a scam. It's actually the $1.25 store now. Like ridiculous,
bro. Inflation's out here, man.
I'm like $1 a quart. I was like, y'all are literally the dollar store. What are you talking about? Anyways, that's really after that, I'm trying to think if I even stopped. I think I just went to Panera really quickly and just got a coffee. Like I got an iced coffee.
What happened to your coffee this morning, bro?
Bro, oh my God. So yesterday I got a nice coffee and then came here to set up the stuff. This morning I tried to, I got a hot coffee and I had an idea that I was going to transport this coffee in this on an e-bike. I bought an e-bike. I was like, I don't need a car. I literally don't go anywhere that requires a car. So like, why would I spend thousands of dollars on a car and I can just spend a couple grand on an e-bike? And I can learn about like the area around. I can like be biking around in nature. I can do Uber Eats and make money while exploring, which is what I do most of the time. If I feel like exploring all of Kent, or I just feel like making an extra bit of money, then I'm like, great, I'll just do some Uber Eats and I'll explore. So I did that night, but What are the other things? I wanted to link my Printful to the TikTok shop.
You forgot your story about the coffee.
Oh, wait, what was the story? Oh, right, sorry. So this morning I biked over on the e-bike, and I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna pick up a coffee." I was actually gonna ask if you wanted one, but then I was like, "This might not even work." So let me not risk this. So
good thing you didn't, bro.
I filled up the coffee all the way to the top, which is probably my first problem. But I like coffee. I want it all the way to the top, so I filled it all the way to the top, and then I was like, "I'm just gonna tape the part where like the hole is, like easy. I'll just put this thing in the thing, and I'll just start biking, no problem." I don't know what happened, but the coffee still got through. There's actually a little hole here, I think was part of the problem. So it just started like getting everywhere, messing up. And then like by the end of it, bro, I lost like half my coffee. And then at the very end, I was like, yo, I could have just taped the inside of the cup. And then the coffee would have just bounced off instead of like going kind of through and seeping through. And I was like, I'm an idiot. So I learned a bunch of stuff today. But anyways, back to yesterday. I linked my Printful to my TikTok shop. So this Joyage Kingdom clothes that you're seeing us rep right now, which we accidentally twinned, but it's fine.
Bro, accidentally, you did this on purpose, bro.
Oh my God.
So we hit me up in the morning. Hey, what are you wearing, bro? I'm just playing.
So I linked the Printful shop that has all like this, my distributor and manufacturer, to the TikTok shop. And we'll see what happens there. Right now I'm waiting for like all that to go through. I think I'm in like the last couple of steps to make that work. So I'm actually pumped for that because I don't have to use Shopify. And I had to spend money to use Shopify. So I'm pretty sure I just found a hack. And plus, if I just like brand this clothing the right way, I've seen so many random small business things like my clothes who went from making like one sale a month to just like accidentally making $300,000 in a month. Just like absurd, right? And Printful, I think, has like unlimited supply. Like I think they can just keep going. So I'm kind of like sort of banking on that. That's why I've been studying like intently how to make content do better. And that's kind of what led me to TikTok shop. After that, I wanted to finish my stock footage uploading. That actually didn't get done, and I still need to do that. It's just because there's like 150 photos to go through, but I'm kind of just hoping to upload all my stock footage to the Joyage Kingdom, all the trip footage, all my drone footage, and just putting it on a stock website and just letting it accumulate money over time. And then afterwards, I wanted to do a little bit of exploring and Uber Eats, so I did a little bit of that. And then I didn't take a walk.
I feel that.
Actually, I did to get Chipotle, so technically I took a walk.
Bro, walks are underrated, bro.
They're very underrated.
Very
underrated.
We need to do underrated, overrated, bro.
Overrated, underrated? Okay.
Yeah, whatever it's called.
We got to think of some things.
No,
There's
later,
actually a
later.
version of that. There's a version of that. It's F, Marry, Kill. FUD, Flip, or HODL is what we called it for NFTs. Like FUD one, so like fear, it's like basically like talk a bunch of crap about it, flip it, or hold it. That was like the concept of these NFTs, but you don't know any of the NFTs, so it's not going to be helpful. Let's see. There's a couple other topics I want to talk about.
I think you wanted to go over the funded account real quick.
Yes. So do you want to actually hit on that? I can do more about that than I do.
Sure. There are prop firms, basically companies, that will give you capital to trade with if you can pass a test and prove that you're consistently profitable. So I'm doing a challenge with a prop firm called Empowered, and I did a 100K challenge. And so basically you have to make 8% the first month, 5% the second month, and then you're good to go. They'll give you that amount of money, and then there's a profit split. So with this specific one, I believe it's like 70-30. 70% I keep, 30% they keep. Again, it's win-win. You get capital to trade with, and then you're making the money for them giving you the capital. And we started this challenge. What day did we start the challenge, bro? Like a week ago?
Yeah, about a week ago.
And
bro, that's actually crazy.
And yeah, it's been pretty crazy this last week. I know that you had a couple trades that killed it. I took 5 and won 5, which is not normal. So like, not saying that, oh, we never lose, bro. Like that was just a crazy great week. And yeah,
dude, how much do you make? How much do you make from the 5 trades, by the way? On 100, here's the thing: when you have 100K to use, look, there's a bunch of risk obviously with this. But the interesting is with this prop firms is that like the risk for you is only the money that you spent to get the account, which is like $100. So I was like, wait. It's like actually, that was the question I wanted to ask.
You're basically buying 10 grand for $100.
Here's my question. My question is, can I wait till the last day and just put it all on fate and be like,
yeah,
rolling
you can.
Dice?
I mean, there's a rule where you have to have a certain amount of trading days, but the way that it works is like, if you like just make the certain percent on the last day, like you can take like little BS trades.
Yeah.
Like you could take like couple small trades, like on a couple other days, and that counts as like you traded that day.
Mm,
You have, I think it's like 5 trading days. You have to
got it.
had traded at least 5 days. But if you took little BS trades that weren't actually real, but you just made $1, lost $1 here or whatever, and then the last day you made the percent, you'd pass.
Dang. All right, well, talk about how much you made. So with a 100K funded account, you're talking about numbers that most people aren't talking about. So like you make 5 trades.
Mm-hmm.
What did that look like?
That's a good question. I think the first one was like $300. I think one was 600. One was 957. One was, I had one day where I made 1,500. So that was probably the best day. And then
That's insane.
I don't remember. It's hard to remember all 5.
Yeah.
But I think I made 4 or 5%, something like that.
That's nuts, dude. Yeah, with 100K, that's some insane numbers because that's like almost, if you're not losing every trade and you're actually making profit, that's like income level money right there. Like I can pay my rent type of income right there. And I'm not sure what the right answer is because I wouldn't say that's something you should put all your marbles into. But at the same time, I'm sitting here going like, bro, but if you can, like that's how like a lot of my life decisions are being made right now. I'm like, okay, so I'm single and I'm young and I'm still like have this fire in me. So like this is when the only time in my entire life right now can I be this risky and degenerate with all my decisions and it be kind of fine. Like if everything goes wrong, then like I don't have like a child or something. It's like because I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm saying because that's the situation. If it is, my decisions get made with that kind of lens on. I guess if that makes sense. So like when like there's a reason I don't always talk about my own finances because like if I talk about some of the things I decide to do and take risks on, my parents have a heart attack because they'd be like, "You did what? Or you tried what? Like you spent your money on what?" I'm like, bro, I'll talk to you when I make it. But like in this time period, like my decisions aren't going to make sense to you because you have a family to take care of. And you're not going to be able to see what I see because you're not living my life. So I feel like, I don't know, there's probably a lot of entrepreneurs who are in their grind stage like I am, where you haven't made it yet, where you probably understand what I'm saying. There's probably some things you haven't said to anyone or you like, so you don't tell your parents because you're like, yo, they would definitely die if they heard something like that. But yeah, that's where I'm at. That's just kind of my thoughts to the funded accounts, especially.
That's facts. What about your trades, bro?
Yeah, so I made I think we made 2, maybe 3 trades. I think it was just 2 trades. And I think we made 100 and like 110 on one and then 50 on the other. So I don't know what percentages that is of each, but it was just 2 wins, 2 trades. So it was like,
yeah, it's like 1.5%.
Yeah, ridiculous, dude. Yeah, we were up and it was so funny because we took the trade and then like immediately was up $40. And I was like, wow, I should close the trade. And he was like, no, don't close the trade. Let's just wait for it to hit. Because you make the trade, you set a limit of like, depending on if you bought for a short or for a profit, like you set the limit you're going to get out of if it goes the wrong way, and that way you don't lose all your money. And then you have a number where you're set. You're like, okay, this is where we're looking to exit to make the most profit, but not be idiots. And if it's before that, you can pull out. But it's like that was the plan when you made the trade was to let it hit here. So when it is approaching, why would you change your mind?
Yeah.
Which is the thought because it's just bad. It builds a bad habit, I think, more than anything.
For sure. No, I agree. Weren't we supposed to talk a little bit about? I think you had like a trading tip of the day or something.
We did have a trading tip of the day, but I probably wouldn't be the one to talk about because I'm not a heavy trader. But
trading tip of the day.
This is the tip.
I think. Can I switch it?
You can switch it. This is just the one I came up with.
Cool. I would say that let's just piggyback off of what you're saying. Like trading tip of the day is the reason why most people are super emotional is because they don't like really plan out their trade. Like for me, I'm only risking 1%. So I don't care if I lose. Like if I win, great. If I lose, great. It's fine. Either way. And when you have a solid plan coming into it and you're only trading with money that you're willing to risk, then you're not going to be emotional. But that's why you see a lot of people that are on this emotional roller coasters because they're doing 1% today, 5% tomorrow, 20% on this trade, 50% on this trade. And let's take my example this week. I won 5 trades in a row. It'd be easy for your average person to think, oh, bro, 5 trades in a row. Like, let's raise the amount of money that I'm going to risk.
I would think.
And then the next trade you lose and then you lost all the profits that you just made in the first place. And so trading tip of the day is like plan exactly how much you want to risk, what your reward is, and then stick to your plan.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Plan your trade your plan. Trading tip of the day.
That's definitely a good one. And I was going to say, I'll just add on mine. I'm grabbing this for the next question I had. But, my tip was slightly different. It was just based on like a conversation we were having yesterday, I think. But it was, you don't have to force the trade. And that's only because we were looking at like my numbers, for example. Like I made 2 trades and we were up $150. If everyone's goals are different, but say you had a goal of like, I want to make $100 this week. If that was your goal, then like you could stop right there. You don't have to make a trade. And if there's not a trade to be made, like yesterday on this, in the 6 a.m. session, you texted me like, yo, we're just not going to make a trade. And like, I'm still learning. So I was like, okay, great. But like a lot of people, when they trade, I can't imagine it because I've always just been okay with the long-term picture because I've always just thought long-term. But if you don't have that, you might be thinking, I got to make a trade. I got to make money today. And if that's what you're thinking, you're going to take L's like that are unnecessary, I feel like.
No, people genuinely think if they're looking at a chart that they need to be in. Like they have to be in the market.
I've never felt like that. Maybe it's because of crypto.
A lot of people feel like that.
Because NFTs and crypto, I'm very hesitant to get in.
I'm on the charts. I need to be in there. Like I don't know. I've never really thought like that either. But that is a very, very, very common thing that people do.
What else is common for beginner traders to get in? Like, what are some common like mindset things that they have that are you kind of have to blow out of the way like immediately? You're like, okay, that's not the way it works, kind of thing.
Bro, everything. I could literally think of a million different things. I would say, first thing is like with leverage trading. Like when I show them a chart, the first thing that they're thinking is up is good and down is bad. But like with like leverage trading, with margin trading, if the market goes up and you buy, that's good. If you short the market, if it goes down, it's good. So that's like number one. Like trading 101. But I would say the risk thing that we talked about as well. I would say that they have an unrealistic idea of like that they need to be making a lot very quick. I think it's like 90% of people that trade fail. So
that's a high number.
I think that's how it is with like a lot of things. It's like entrepreneurship in general.
Yeah.
That's like, I think most people who get into real estate never sell a home.
Yeah.
That get their license. So it's like part of the game.
Dang.
But yeah, and I think that
trading is more intense because there's no in between of like real estate. There's like this, sell the house, then money. Trading, it's like money. Like, there's like only one thing. So like people who don't make money are like, oh, I'm not doing anything right. You're like, well, it takes like a year or 2 or 3 or 5 even.
Yeah, that's the biggest one. It's just a long-term thing.
Yeah.
If you're not willing to do something that's long-term, then don't even start. That's probably the biggest one. It's something that anybody can probably do. I shouldn't say anybody. The vast majority of people could learn the skill.
Yeah.
But like, if you have to be willing to spend hours and hours and hours to actually learn the skill. And if you're not willing to put in at least 6 months to like, and when I say 6 months, I'm not even saying to like master it. I'm saying to like see if it is worth mastering. Then I would say, hey, like maybe just don't even try it. So yeah, true. Sometimes people are like, yo, like why should I trade? I'm like, maybe you shouldn't, bro.
Dang.
Yo, like if you're not willing to act, just don't do it. That's fine.
Yo, by the way, while we're talking about that, if you're someone who's like, who travels a lot or likes to travel, or traveling is just a part of your life, hotels are like maybe you live out of a suitcase type of life, which I was for a while actually, not so much anymore. But there's a company called TLX that is in the company that we kind of work a lot with, and in that thing, it's not like a trading educational platform. It's just part of the same company, but it's literally just discounts. It's a membership. It's a membership that's exclusive. So you have to be invited from another member. But if you want to be part of that, it's literally just discounts. And you save up to 60% of like discounts, hotels, rental cars. Like, and if you're like rich kind of thing, there's like a whole lot of exclusive luxury things you get discounts on. It's actually ridiculous, to the point where I was like, I had to ask him a few times when I was going through this stuff. I was like, "This is what I said. Is this true?" I was like,
"That's exactly what I'm talking to you about the too good to be true thing." You're like, you know, this can't be true.
Yeah. But, okay, the trade-off is it is membership that you pay. Like you do pay money to be in the membership, but the money you save and you get a free trip at the end of the year if you stay for a year, like an actual trip to like international Mexico, things like that, Dubai if you stay for like a second year. I was sitting here, I was like, bro. Okay, so if you're not broke, this is something you should be in. He was kind of like,
if you want to have a life-changing experience, like a life-changing bucket list trip at least once a year, then it'd be dumb, in my opinion, not to.
Because the trip is going to cost $2-3 grand. And I was like, so if the membership is going to cost less than that at the end of the year, the trip is more, and you're already going to travel once a year probably. I was like, that actually makes like sense, and I don't feel bad. Because like with trading, I felt a little bit bad because I was like, what if they don't make money?
Yeah.
And like that's the risk, is that maybe you don't make money for the first couple of years. But I was like, with TLX, get a guaranteed trip and get guaranteed discounts. And I was like, that's kind of like NFTs who don't suck and actually have like, yo, we're connected with this airline, connected with this hotel, and you get discounts. It's like a membership club. And I was like, so this is like an NFT project that didn't scam anyone. and like just is working and has like consistent inbound money coming in, so it works. And so anyways, yeah, if you want to know about that, just shoot one of us a DM on Instagram or wherever. I just thought like it would be a crime not to bring it up. Next question I have is for David K. Shout out David. So when hoodies, bro, the hoodies are already here. They've been made. I just got to figure out how I want to drop them. This is one of them. This is a raincoat / windbreaker style. I wear this probably 80% of the time, especially in Washington where it randomly rains for no reason. We got the classic Joyage Kingdom logo here. It's also got Joyage Kingdom actual logo on the back. This thing actually is so fire. It is so fire. The amount of people, especially with the logo on the back, who I get like neck turners.
The white is clean, bro.
The white looks good, especially if you're on a bike at night. I think it's good to have white on. So you're like obnoxiously neon white in the dark. But yeah, this hoodie's there. I've got like 4 other colors of normal hoodies that are cotton, and they are extremely, extremely. I don't have another word other than just fire. They're just actually fire, and I literally turn away probably like 1 to 2 clothing companies a month because I'm just like, bro, look, I can review your clothes, but like I'm not going to because A, I'm just so biased that it's not going to be as good as mine. And B, even if I do like it, I'm not going to wear it. Like I just don't wear any other clothes. So it's just like, I'm sorry, I can't help you there. So it's like pretty much the only like sponsorship I probably wouldn't ever take would probably be clothes because I don't even want to be put in a position to fail and to like not wear my clothes. It's kind of like when people keep snacks in the house. When they don't want to be snacking, I'm like, I don't even want to have the opportunity to not wear my own clothes.
That's funny, bro. That's a good analogy.
Yeah. Anyways, I was gonna say if you want to run like sometimes IG questions get caught up at the top of the thing. I was just gonna roll through and see if there's any Instagram questions. Otherwise, there's like 1 or 2 topics left, and then we're gonna close out this first episode.
Let's get it.
Let me see. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat. Sure as fire. Nick Corso, bro, I love you, man. I love you. I'm just gonna look to see if there's any thoughts. And you're gonna take the Kodacope ice cream yet? Love it? The answer is yes, I will. I've actually made a whole list of people that have responded. There's like a bunch actually of different brands, flavors, products that I want to try. So I will be on the lookout for that. Let me know where I can buy that, by the way, if that's like a specific shop. Like one of the energy drinks that Corinne told me to get is only at 7-Eleven. So next time I go to 7-Eleven, I'll be on the lookout for that. So yeah, if you have any questions, drop in the chat.
What we got left?
We have, I was just going to like quickly mention this because I'm not sure. I still don't know what to think about this. I don't want to hit on this for very long at all because I don't think it's worth wasting anybody's time.
No lie, bro. This is the main thing that we've been waiting to talk about. No, I'm just kidding.
Low key, like for a few weeks, it like kind of was. It was funny. I wasn't sure what I felt about it, but it was kind of funny. But then I felt bad because I was like, I'm just laughing at someone else's like. It's not good, you know, especially if you're Christian. You don't want to be like living out a life that's like probably not what Jesus. But like, it's just like if you're someone who truly loves people, then you wouldn't be laughing at the situation. It's kind of like what my thought process was. But Dylan Dennis just coming out and finding just so much like I don't know if you could call it dirt because I would say 75% of it is just pictures that people take like as anybody takes. But then some of them are a little bit like should be personal, maybe secret, private type of photos of Logan Paul's girlfriend leading up to Logan Paul's fight with Dylan Dennis, a big boxing fight. And they're both influencers. So it's like, it's kind of, there's no rules, but it sort of brought this topic of like, what happens when there is no rules? Like, it sounds great. And that's what Web3 was. No rules. Sounds amazing. Everyone self-custody this, self-custody that until everyone loses their money, until everyone gets scammed. You know, it's like, until every single photo you've ever taken that's slightly risque gets posted onto Twitter with 5 million people laughing at you. What do you think about this whole situation?
I think that, hey, maybe Dylan shouldn't be posting what he's posting, but at the end of the day, if you put it on the internet, you can't expect for people to not make fun of you for it at the end of the day. If you're an individual that has a big following, and you do something controversial or someone does something close to controversial, like you're going to get called out. And if you post something on the internet that you don't want to be reshared, then why are you posting it on the internet in the first place? That's my thing. Did Dylan take it too far? I don't know, man. He's promoting the fight.
Yeah,
He's promoting the fight. And I think what's crazier is the fact that they're trying to like sue him for defamation. And literally, like, he was talking about, hey, we might not actually fight because they're like trying to sue me. I don't know if that's just like BS or
I
what.
have no idea either.
But yeah, that's what I think, man.
Yeah, but I mean, I kind of have to agree with you there, I guess. That's just kind of the name of the game, especially on Twitter, bro. I think part of why I sort of stepped away from Twitter was because of that level of degeneracy I saw, which part of it is funny because I can't help but be like an internet troll too a little bit, where the internet troll in me comes out. But I was like looking at the comments and I was just like,
they're taking it too far.
It feels a little bit icky. Like I feel icky reading the comments. And there was a point where I was like, dude, every time he tweeted, like every couple hours, I was like looking to see if he made any tweaks. And I was like, it was addicting. And then I was like, why am I so addicted to this? Just like, it's disgusting, bro. Like I don't want to look at this. And I feel like I should be better. And I can be better because like, you know, I help from above now that I can be better if I want to be, I can just ask for help.
I agree that they took it a little bit too far, but bro, also it's like the fight game. And in the fight game, people will literally say anything.
Especially Logan Paul.
Exactly.
Like that's the other side, is that Logan Paul is that also the same thing, but now he's trying to take the moral ground because he's at the butt of the joke. And I'm like, that's a tough like argument to kind of argue there, I would say. And like David says right here, he says, to be fair, Logan brought up his dude's girl first. And I think his brother did too, Jake. He also brought up his Dylan Yass's past girl. Yeah. So I think it may be like, it's just in quotes fair. It's just, it doesn't mean it's good, if that makes sense. Like it might be fair, just not good. And like something that we should be saying like, oh bro, like we should put him on every single show. Like that's what happens, especially in the podcast game, which is kind of why I thought it'd be good to bring us together, because we can just focus on value, not as much on the drama, because there is too much content that's like, I'm okay with entertainment, but it's like when all the entertainment you're taking in is just a bunch of toxicity, that does feed your
brain. Yeah. That literally like burns your brain cells.
Yeah, it does, bro. I feel stupid.
You feel worse. Like it's terrible for you.
100%. So I definitely don't want to end the podcast on that note. So we do have a couple. There was a couple here that I thought I highlighted. I may not have, but there was one question here that I was going to ask. Somewhere here. Hold on. If you see a question also that you want,
I don't know why I'm looking over there as if I don't have it over here.
Dude, I had like one specific one I was going to ask.
Let's do this last one. Is that cool?
Sure. What is it?
No, I'm just saying like whatever.
Oh yeah. That's fine. That's fine. Oh, I thought you had one. I thought you were about to like.
No. I was saying like
we're still looking.
Yeah. I was like waiting for you.
Bro, okay.
You said you had one, bro. I was just saying like whatever one this is, like after that, let's close it out.
Okay. All right. This one it's a good question. It's sometimes it requires some time to think. So if you have an answer that comes to mind in the first couple seconds, then let's roll with it. Do you have any guilty pleasures?
I mean, does video games count? Because that's like the main one.
Yeah.
For sure.
FIFA or other games too?
Mostly FIFA. What else do I play? Oh, lately, I've been playing Smash Bros, bro.
It's because you're terrible.
No, that game's so much fun.
It is fun,
bro. But yeah, no, that's like
video games.
Yeah, definitely. Like I could do that for hours and hours and hours and hours if I didn't have other things going on. I usually will play like at the end of the day when everything's over, and I'll just play for an hour at the end of the day. Yeah. But yeah, no, that's like the most like fun thing that I do with like just by myself. Yeah, nothing crazy. Sure. Let me think of another one.
He says David said he agrees. He says Super Smash is goated.
Bro, Smash Bros is lit. I've been playing.
Yeah, and he's also a cheater, bro. Like, I don't understand all the controls, but there's like a concept where you're falling off the platform and you're so far down that there's like, bro, there's no way you can come back from it. So I'm like ready to log in this W, and then he just like flies back up. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, that's not fair. How am I supposed to win? The whole concept is to knock you off the platform until you die, and then he just comes back every single time.
Oh my god,
bro! It actually pisses me off so much.
Those are my top 2 games, bro. Right now,
I gotta learn all the controls. Once I learn the controls, it's over.
What about you, bro?
Guilty pleasures? A guilty pleasure is probably with food. Like I can't eat
food
just about everything and pretty much have no concept of stopping. I can, and it's a guilty pleasure to do that. I would say like with ice cream, like I will, and often just will eat the whole thing, or chips, like something like that. And I've been able to stop that. I feel like it's like a form of binging almost, of like a lack of control in like your life overall. That would be one. But then also probably something that kind of got eradicated was like, it felt good. And I thought this was like something very unique to me, but I think it's actually pretty not unique to me. I think it's pretty universal for a lot of people. It's like the idea of listening to sad music and then just sitting there in like a slumber of sadness and just kind of like depression And it just feels good to just sit there and just be like that's kind of half the reason I moved to Washington, because it's like supposed to be gloomy and rainy all the time, which it is sometimes for certain seasons. But I was like, oh, it'd be great. I'll just be surrounded by like Twilight vibes. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, like dark green trees and rain and sad music and lakes. And I was like, that'd be great. I can just sit there and like, that'll be like your guilty pleasure out that like no one knows about kind of thing. And then I was like, I don't know. I guess I sort of evolved a little bit, and I was like, wait, like, I don't know if that's like a guilty pleasure or if like a toxic habit actually. And I'm not sure. It's not something I do as much because I just don't think there's much to gain out of that. Maybe every now and then to let yourself be sad, but I feel like I was treating it more like
to let yourself be sad,
like a hobby almost. You know, like let me just listen to sad music instead of being grateful for things I have in my life. Let me just be sad about things I don't have. Or
I think it depends. I think like if you have like an actual reason to be sad, like then it's good. Yeah, because it's like you have a good reason. But if you're just like doing it all the time, then I don't know, maybe not.
Yeah. Let's not end it there. Let's end it on a strong note. Let's end it on a strong note, bro. Strong note. You ready? Here's the question. Don't
ask me anything about movies.
It's not gonna be a movie.
I can't remember movies. I don't know why. But you be asking me, yo, what do you think about this movie? And I'm like, bro, I don't know, because for some reason my brain cannot remember movies.
All right, your favorite influencer / person of value that helps you out in your day-to-day life can be any topic.
Right? As of right now, it's Alex, bro. I've been literally consuming like Alex's content like every other day.
Alex Ramosi.
How about you,
bro? What platforms am I on? TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Bro, what have I been looking at? Oh no, I usually have a go-to answer. I feel like my overall life one.
How about recently?
Probably be Gary Vee. I don't know if I have one.
Gary Vee, for sure. He's like up.
He's gonna always be in there. I feel like Gary Vee. To be honest, I haven't really stuck with a single creator as much recently.
Who's someone that you've been watching that maybe other people haven't heard about, that have a ton of value, that maybe you don't watch all the time, but you've watched recently?
I would maybe have an answer at every other point in my life other than now, only because the last couple months has been a particular type of life that like I like became Christian. So like that was a huge life change to go from like I have no rules or anyone to answer to like, oh wait, that like changes everything for me. So I was like obsessed with trying to figure out every counter argument to that. So I was like, okay, well if I'm gonna be Christian, then like I'm not gonna be it because like I can't find another answer, and this sounds best, and I'm just not going to.
Who has the best channel that you've seen?
There's a bunch of great channels. I would say Ascension Presents, which bothers me that I have that answer because they're a Catholic channel, and I was like, bro, Catholics are crazy. Catholics have all these rules, and they do these things, and then I like went online and Googled all these questions. I was like, oh, none of these things I thought about Catholics were true, like at all, pretty much. It was all just misconceptions about them from Protestants, and I was like, so I went and like did this whole deep dive. Every hard question I had against Christianity, I went deep into every single one. So I was like, I'm not going to be an idiot Christian. And especially I don't want to be one of those people who like turns people away from the faith because they live a lifestyle that you're like, oh, I don't want to be Christian because that guy's Christian. He's a idiot. Like he's a degenerate. He does all these terrible things. Like that's a whole representation of the religion. And I feel like that is so many people who are Christians. And that bothers me because like, dude, it's like matters to me. And it was like something that really, really helped me and actually saved me in a place that I couldn't save myself. And I tried to the last 12 years. So for myself, it was so important that it isn't just another extra thing to like add to the resume. It was something that like kind of changed everything about my entire life. So like recently it's been that, and I would say Ascension Presents is probably affecting me the most in the last couple of months.
Let's get it.
So yeah. Anyways, guys, that's going to close out this episode. I typically will do this kind of thing at the end where like at the very beginning of the show, or the very beginning, like 2021 was before anyone even knew who I was, I would do like, it wasn't really a prayer. It was kind of like a prayer / manifestation / like, let me just speak things into the universe. I would just kind of like speak to people or whatever. But instead, I think we just do like literally a 10-second of silence. So if you're religious or you're not, just either manifest it if you're not religious, or pray to whoever you pray to if you do. But 10 seconds of that, I think it's like pretty helpful for self-development in general. So we're going to do that even if it feels uncomfortable and awkward. I think it's still helpful for self-development as a whole. And it's like the one thing that you never see content about, because it is the opposite of what everyone says to do, which is go do things, get things done. It's like, take 10 seconds to just pause and see what that does. So all you got to do is breathe and take full, deep belly breaths and then pray or manifest. 10 seconds. You ready? I'm not going to count, but we're going to do that, and then we're going to close this out. All right, let's go. You can close your eyes or not. Bro, I hear you laughing. All right, episode 1. Bro, you got any last messages or last thoughts or no?
Nah, that's it. Appreciate y'all, and let's run it. I'm hyped to continue to do this every single week, so make sure you're tuned in literally every Saturday, 11 a.m. Let's get it.
Until next time, continue on your Joyage. Continue to learn. Be great for your life.